Good morning. My name is Yun Liu, and today I want to share my journey of setting up a functional STEM classroom. This presentation is part of our UTeach huddle, and my hope is that we can exchange ideas on how to design spaces that are both effective and inspiring for our students. Here's my story. When I first inherited my classroom, it was not functional. There was no clear organization. Books, papers, and equipment were stacked on the floor, and some walls hadn't been visible for years. It was difficult to teach effectively in that kind of environment. I realized that before my students could thrive, I had to think how to organize and make full use of the classroom. At one point, I discovered that my classroom had a bigger problem than clutter. We actually had rats. I joked about bringing my cat to solve the problem. What this moment really showed me was how important it is to take ownership of the classrooms. If I don't address the environment, whether it's clutter, pests, or just disorganization, it will directly affect my ability to teach and my students' ability to learn. After realizing that my cat was not the right solution, I had to face the problem more directly. I brought in rat traps, and to my surprise, they caught two rats. It wasn't exactly the classroom project I had in mind, but it worked. So I asked myself, what do my students actually need from this space? Seven things came up: a group meeting place to create a central hub, a storage space for student projects, a well-organized marker space, a thoughtful student desk setup, an easy-to-use teacher desk, a useful technology zone, a space to show student ownership. Each of these became a focus for me, and I'll walk you through each one of them. I want a place where students could gather for announcement and discussion. It makes attention and transitions faster. For me, it works because I removed desk distractions, tightened proximity, and giving a visual cue that we are in announcement mode. This open area at the back of my classroom serves perfectly as our group meeting space. Store student projects in a visible, labeled, and reachable way could really help students build accountability for care, cleanup, and ownership of the classroom. I have spacious shelves in the classroom, although they are pretty much empty now because we are moving to a new building, but they serve perfectly for the storage place. Marker spaces can quickly become cluttered if I'm not intentional. I started using clear labeling, color-coded bins, and QR-coded inventory to keep track of the tools and supplies. This not only made the space more usable, but also gives the students ownership. When I arrange student desks, I wanted to create a space where everything feels accessible and purposeful. From this angle, you can see how the desks are arranged to promote group work, while still keeping clear sightlines to the board and projector. I also focused on making sure pathways are open. Students can move around without bumping into materials. After dealing with the clutter and even the rats, my priority became designing a space that feels clean, open, and ready for learning. I also use seating chart to group students to minimize distractions, promote productive pairings, and behavior management. When it comes to exams, I use apps to generate random seating chart for academic integrity. Well, to make myself comfortable and a reliable home for my laptop and other devices, I have two teacher desks. One is by the Promethean board to use when I'm teaching. The other is by the door in the back so I can monitor student movement. Sometimes have a more private teacher-student conversation. I also put subbing materials here so the sub-teachers can find everything fast. Another key area is the technology zone. Things like charging stations could help students not feeling so reluctant to give up their phones. Sometimes I have students come to my classroom just to charge their phones. It feels like I'm not taking the phones. I'm offering a service with boundaries. Finally, I believe students should have ownership in shaping the classroom. I invite them to design areas like a birthday display, a self-portrait wall, and an announcement board. These touches not only personalize the space, but also build a community. Well, that's my journey to transform a cluttered, hard to use room into a space where students feel empowered to collaborate and take ownership. Thank you for listening, and I would love to hear your strategies too. Please feel free to reach me at yuliu@dallasisd.org. Thank you.